this is the biggest honor you can possibly have, and playing basketball in our country is wearing USA across your chest. So, I'm just excited to be here and honored. Obviously, it's kind of like the start to the new Olympic cycle, and quite a few different things before we get to that point, but just excited to be here and be surrounded by a lot of really great players, some that, haven't played in Olympics before, and then others that have a medal or multiple medals. So I think it's been a fun group to be around.
Hello guys, welcome back to TFD with Cordy. So yeah, today we gotta talk about Team USA again. And not just the roster, not just the names, but the mindset behind how Team USA builds these teams. Because there's something going on here that I don't think enough people really understand. Team USA does not change until they lose. That's the truth. They don't evolve because the game evolves. They don't adjust because the world catches up. They don't adapt because other teams get smarter. They change only when they get embarrassed. And the reason I'm saying this is because last Olympics, they didn't lose. They won gold. Barely, but they won. Because they won, nothing changes. The problems don't get fixed. The politics don't go away. The favoritism stays. The same patterns repeat. If Team USA had lost last year, the whole structure would already be different. We'd be talking about a youth movement. We'd be talking about modern basketball. We'd be talking about pace, spacing, shot creation, and versatility. But they didn't lose. And so now they're going to run it back with the same mentality. And if you actually watched those Olympic Games closely, not just highlights, not just box scores, you saw the cracks. You saw the issues. They were starting games getting punched in the mouth. They were slow. They were predictable. They were getting hunted defensively. Teams were targeting certain players. And the biggest target? Chelsea Gray. Now listen, Chelsea Gray is a legend, one of the best shot creators the game has ever seen. In her prime, she was unstoppable. But right now? Teams know exactly what to do. They put her in every action. They force switches. They go right at her. And when you do that, the whole structure of the defense collapses. In the final, she was -8. -8 in a game they barely won. France was the better team for most of that game. And if you're being honest, Team USA didn't take that gold. France kind of gave it away down the stretch. And why did Team USA almost lose? Not talent, not effort, not heart, complacency. They started the wrong lineups. They trusted history more than reality. They prioritized what players used to be over what players are. And that brings us to the core issue. Team USA values sentiment over fit, reputation over rhythm, legacy over logic. What you did 5 years ago matters more than what you're doing right now. And that's why the same thing is about to happen again. Chelsea Gray is going to start. Not because she's the best point guard today, not because she's the fastest, not because she's the best defender, but because she's Chelsea Gray. That's it. And it's wild, because she doesn't even play point guard for her own team anymore. She's reinvented herself off the ball. She's become a shot creator, a connector, a half-court killer. That's her role now. She is not a modern 5-on-5 point guard. And yet, she's going to start at point guard for Team USA. Why? Because Team USA does not want to offend veterans. And this is where Caitlyn Clark enters the conversation. Caitlyn Clark is the best offensive engine in the world right now. Period. No debate. She bends defenses, she warps spacing, she forces teams to guard the entire court. But do you really think Team USA is going to hand her the keys right away? No. They're going to sit her. Just like they sat Chelsea Gray behind a 40-year-old Sue Bird. Think about that. Chelsea Gray, in her prime, came off the bench behind Sue Bird at 41 years old. Sue Bird, one of the greatest ever, yes, but not the best point guard at that time. And they still started her. Because sentiment, because dues, because history. That's the culture. So now flip it. Caitlyn Clark is going to be the Chelsea Gray of this era, except even more obvious. She's better than the veterans right now. She's more impactful. She's more dangerous. And she's still going to sit. And she won't be the only one. Paige Bueckers? Sitting. Sonia Citron? Sitting. Young players with size, defense, and skill? Sitting. Because Team USA wants to honor the past instead of build the future. And the crazy thing is, the best lineup for Team USA is right in front of us. If you want to win basketball games, not ceremonies, not press conferences, basketball games, your core should be Jackie Young, Caitlyn Clark, Paige Beckers. That's your three-headed monster. All three can handle, all three can shoot, all three can defend, all three can play on or off the ball. That's modern basketball. Size, skill, IQ, versatility. You don't need athletes, you need basketball players. You're not playing prime Spain, you're not playing 2010 France, you're not playing teams that can match your talent. You're playing teams that rely on structure and execution. And Team USA still has a massive advantage. They're going to beat almost everybody. But the question isn't if they'll win, it's how they'll win and who they'll develop. Because if they keep starting the wrong players in the wrong roles, they're wasting time. They're wasting reps, they're wasting chemistry, they're wasting the future. And then there's Kahleah Copper. I like Kahleah Copper. She's tough, she's fast, she's physical, but there is no basketball reason, none, to start her over Caitlyn Clark or Paige Beckers if your goal is to maximize offense and spacing. That decision only makes sense if you're protecting egos. Same with Chelsea Gray at point guard. Same with the lineup logic. Team USA isn't choosing what wins games, they're choosing what avoids controversy. And the funniest part? They're probably going to sit Kelsey Plum, too. Even though Kelsey Plum was the reason they came back in the Olympics. When they subbed her in for Chelsea Gray in the second half, that changed everything. The pace changed, the pressure changed, the spacing changed. If they don't make that adjustment, they don't win gold, period. France wins. And yet, she's probably going to the bench again. Because, sentiment. This whole system is backwards. Play your best players in their best positions with roles that make sense. That's it. Stop the pay your dues nonsense. Stop the politics. Stop pretending reputation wins games. Basketball wins games. And if Team USA actually used their best lineup, they'd be unstoppable. Imagine this. Imagine Caitlyn Clark running the offense, Jackie Young attacking downhill, Paige Beckers pacing, cutting, defending, Aaliyah Boston as the rim runner, and Chelsea Gray as the half-court creator at the 4. Yes, the 4. Small ball, skill ball, IQ ball. Chelsea Gray is a great post defender. People forget that. She's strong, she reads angles, she knows positioning. You could put her on bigger players and survive because you'd be killing teams offensively. That lineup has speed, shooting, defense, shot creation, and playmaking. You don't lose with that group. But they won't do it. They'll start safe lineups. They'll start familiar names. They'll start players based on what they used to be. And everyone already knows it. Everyone already knows the young stars won't start. And that's the weirdest part of all. We live in a league where young players are taking over, where spacing and pace dominate, where skill beats size. And Team USA still acts like it's 2012. They didn't even bring a real point guard to the last Olympics because they thought Chelsea Gray to just be that again. She couldn't. She's reinvented herself, and that's smart, but they haven't reinvented their system around her. They're trying to force her into a role she doesn't even play anymore. And that's not fair to her either. This isn't about disrespecting veterans. It's about respecting reality. The game has changed, the players have changed, the world has changed. But Team USA hasn't. And they won't until they lose. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. They're still good enough to win, but they're not maximizing what they have. And when you've got Caitlyn Clark, Paige Beckers, Jackie Young, Aaliyah Boston, and all this talent, you shouldn't be managing egos. You should be building the best team. But that's not how Team USA operates. Not yet. And until they get humbled, they won't. Tell me what you think in the comments. If you're rocking with the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.
It was a season to forget for one of basketball's biggest stars, as Caitlyn Clark had a pretty frustrating, injury-filled 2025. But starting with the Olympics in 2026, Clark hopes everything is about to change. We spoke with Clark ahead of the training camp with Team USA and have more in our Trailblazers segment. 2026 couldn't come soon enough for Caitlyn Clark. The basketball superstar endured one of the most frustrating years of her life in 2025. She only played in 13 games for the Indiana Fever and had to watch the WNBA playoffs from the bench. However, Clark used this time off to learn and get better.
I think more than anything, it just teaches you how to be a really great teammate and a really good leader, and understanding what your teammates go through. Like, obviously, I'm going to have teammates that have been through injuries and are going to continue to go through injuries, and always leaning on them and being there for them. And, if I have a teammate hurt going forward, like, I'm always going to be the one that texts them and checks on them. And then, just pouring into your teammates. You can do that whether you play or you don't play. And that was kind of my main focus.
Clark's return to the court came at a recent camp with Team USA. She knew right when the camp started that she was back to full strength.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like when I touched the basketball to start warming up before the practice even started, that's probably when I felt pretty comfortable. But, I've worked so hard. Like, I haven't taken a break since, honestly, since the beginning of the WNBA season, with just all my rehab and getting back to where I wanted to be, and then getting even better. So that's been kind of my focus. And this has kind of been my next thing that I've been working for since our season ended.
Clark was famously left off the Olympic team in 2024. But now she leads a group of younger players taking over Team USA in the next Olympic cycle.
This is the biggest honor you can possibly have, and playing basketball in our country is wearing USA across your chest. So, I'm just excited to be here and honored. Obviously, it's kind of like the start to the new Olympic cycle, and quite a few different things before we get to that point, but just excited to be here and be surrounded by a lot of really great players, some that, haven't played in the Olympics before, and then others that have a medal or multiple medals. So I think it's been a fun group to be around.
Clark was joined at the camp by many of the same players she faced in college. Clark, Paige Beckers, Aaliyah Boston, and Juju Watkins were all making their senior team debuts.
You understand how big of an honor it is to be able to do this, and if you're lucky enough to do it just once, that's incredibly cool to represent your country. So I think for us, like, being able to have that and then come into this national team camp together, it just is a thing of comfort, but also, like, we're all very competitive and you want to be surrounded by the best at the same time. And I think that's kind of the feeling all around for all of us.